MicroMessage. I've got with me here my good friend Brandon Zabel. And Brandon's going to talk to us today about what he's got going on, his business, a little bit of his life, and how it could impact and help you. So Brandon, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Hey, thank you, Shane. Well, you hit it on the head introducing myself. My name is Brandon Zabel. I'm a regional vice president for Primerica Financial Services, and that is, that's just my name. That's just who I am. But let me tell you a little bit deeper about who I really am. Shane, I am a devoted follower of Christ, number one. I am a loving father. I'm a devoted father to my children. Love my wife. She's number two in my life, right after God. My kids come after that. But I am an entrepreneur. I'm a leader. I'm a follower of many things. I'm a coach. I'm a motivator, and I try to be an influencer to everybody that I meet. And that's more of who I am, not just my name.
I like it. So tell us, what is it that you do? What kind of business are you in?
Thank you, man. I'm in financial education. If you had to blanket it into the industry, I'm in financial education. Now, I do wear many hats in financial education. My wife and I, we have a brokerage here in Moore, Oklahoma. It's actually affiliated with a nationwide company, Primerica Financial Services. We've got a brokerage right here in Moore. We've got a team we got teams all over the country right now in 5 different states. We're hoping to go a little bit bigger than that. But what we do, Shane, is we teach people how money works. Our team is dedicated to serve in the community with those who they love the most. We're not a bunch of sales guys out there trying to sell financial products. No, we're out here righting an injustice. The financial industry is not really set up to help a lot of people win. And a lot of times, financial companies will hire people who are in it strictly for the money, and that does a huge injustice to the people that are out there. And so since '77, when our company was founded, it was a crusade more than anything. And what we do, Shane, is we teach people how they can earn more money, how they can be protected against major losses, teach people how to get out of debt, which is a really fun thing, so they can be financially independent and really make it in life.
And that's so awesome, just being able to know that there's somebody out there that, like you said, you're fighting for people to help them not just get their finances in order, it sounds like, but you educate them on how to do that.
Absolutely, man. We use a variety of tools on how to do that. I'll break it down, teaching people how to earn more income. Shane, you and I know that there's a million ways that you can earn money in this country. Even worldwide, you can do just about anything to earn more money. But how we teach people how to make money is through the financial industry. If I was in real estate, I could say that I was teaching people how to make money by flipping houses. Mm-hmm. But I'm in the financial industry, so I teach people how to make money using financial products. Okay, how do we properly protect someone? Well, that is probably one of the biggest questions I get, especially now with COVID-19. And thank God it's hit its end of the road today. The executive order was signed. I'm so excited about that. But
Wow.
Being properly protected against loss, a lot of people didn't have jobs. They didn't have any emergency funds. They were not protected against the loss of their income coming in. Those that had $60,000, $70,000 in their savings accounts, or that they had access to, they didn't suffer the loss. So teaching people how to be protected against loss, and it goes even deeper to home and auto insurance, life insurance, emergency funds, just to make sure that you are financially set up to not experience a major loss that could otherwise cripple you. Getting out of debt, number one plague in America next to obesity. I think that even money is what drives a lot of people to make the terrible decisions because they are overwhelmed in debt. The average American has an $18,000 credit card balance, student loans. Most people die with them. They never get them paid off. A mortgage, a 30-year mortgage, people get locked into those for the 30 years, end up buying 2 houses instead of 1. And just debt is a problem. We've been culturally trained as a society to get something and then pay for it, versus save for it, pay for it, and get it at the same time. We finance everything. Compounding interest is a killer. We're paying somebody else to finance our dreams, and we've got to get people out of that. I love teaching people how to get out of that. And if financially independent, man, that is something that I think every American or every person on planet Earth should want to strive for. And it's not to say that I'm a millionaire, because it does take $1 million or so to be financially independent. But financial independence means you have enough money, Shane, that you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to work for money, because you have enough money working for you, and it has a return of the rate. And you're set up. And this is where a lot of people get to where this quote unquote retirement thing is, where they can hang up the hat and go travel the country, go live on a beach, go do whatever they want to do. But they can even put any of their kids through college without even thinking about it. They can just write that check and send them to whatever university they want, because they're financially independent and they don't have to wait for somebody else to give them money and have to pay way too much back in interest. So it's just a perpetual wheel, and we love getting people back into a better situation by developing a solid game plan, right? Businesses operate on a profit. The exact formula is this, Shane: revenue minus expenses equals profit. I'm not going to get into that. I'd love to attach that video, if we can get that video plugged in,
Yeah.
to explaining how a business plan can be utilized in a home plan. Because every family operates on that same principle, they just don't have a plan. So we're going to put a plan together for those that need it, those that want it, those that want to see something a little bit different.
I like that. So tell me, when did you get into Primerica? When did you find this? How did that all come about?
So it dates back a long time ago, man. I'm 35 now, and maybe about 10 years ago, I got invited to lunch by a guy that I was working out with. He said, we're going to meet somebody. And this gentleman, he came and he sat down, and he was wearing a tie. He looked really sharp. I'd never really sat down and talked to somebody in a tie if I wasn't at a funeral or at a wedding, or even at Sunday church. But he sat down and he said, man, you got some amazing talents. You're really gifted you've got the gift of gab, and you've got a lot of drive. And I can see that. It's plain to see. So I think I'd want to give you a shot to come work with us. My question to him was what most people would say is, well, what do you do? Well, we teach people how money works. I was in my mid-20s. I had no concept of finances, and I turned myself away because I didn't think I was qualified to teach people how money works. And so I let it go. Well, the guy was persistent. He stayed on me for a total of 6 years. Finally, after 6 years, I found myself in a position where, Shane, I needed to learn how money worked. I was prepped. My daughter was on her way. I realized I had zero money in savings. I did not know what an investment account was. I knew absolutely nothing about finances. So I started asking some questions. At that time, I was working at another insurance company, and all I was doing was selling home and auto insurance. I absolutely loved that gig. It was a great profession. How I ended up there is a whole nother story, which is just unbelievable also. But God laid these steps out in front of me. But here I was making great money, and I didn't know anything about the money that I was making. And so I started asking questions within that company. And somebody came and they sold me a life insurance product that had two different aspects to it. It had a savings account and it had an investment, or had an investment and it had insurance. And I was thinking that I was doing the right thing, because part of my money was paying for the insurance that I needed to protect in case I died, something for my daughter. And then there was that investment that was going to grow. And I was pretty excited about that. I was adulting for the first time in my life. And things were going good. And then this guy called me and he invited me to lunch. And getting to know me, Shane, that's probably one of the quickest ways to get me to go anywhere is to offer me food. I'm a sucker for free food. But he started asking me questions that I was asking other people. And these were about my own personal finances. And he told me what they did. He laid out the mission statement, helping families and protecting against loss. And I was intrigued, and I said, well, can you put a plan together for me? So he put a plan together for me, and one of the things that he did is he highlighted my life insurance policy. And he broke it down, and he put two different things out in front of me, and he said, listen, you bought the investment, right? So you wanted your money to grow. And I said, absolutely. He said, well, do you know what percentage it's returning in? I said, no. And he said, well, if you look at this, it's kind of got like a really, really low rate of return. Have you ever seen what the market does? no. What is the market? Now I'm thinking the supermarket. He's talking about the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no. And so he showed me some things, and then he taught me about compounding interest and growth. And he showed me this thing called the Rule of 72. And he said, if you had $10,000 earning 3% in roughly 48 years, that 10,000 would like compound to 40,000. But if it had a 12% rate of return, that same 10,000 would grow to almost 2.5 million or over 2.5 million dollars. Which account would you rather have your money in?
Yeah, no brainer.
Right, 12%. And he said, so what you have is barely 1%. And what I can show you is an account where I have my money, he said, this is where I have my money that saw over 12%. Where would you rather have your money? Well, I'd rather have it than 12%.
That's where I'd want
He
mine.
said, so let's ditch that policy. Let's buy pure insurance and a great investment. I mean, well, that's amazing. Well, at that time, I only had one debt. I was doing pretty good. Like I said, I was making some good money. And the only thing I had was my truck. And ended up meeting my wife. And I told her that she ought to take a look at this. And so I set her up with the same guy that got my financial plan for me. And a few hours later, I called her. I said, well, honey, how did it go? And she said, it's great. We're in. We're in, like, how are we in, honey? She said, yeah. Oh, well, I signed up. I put in my application. I'm doing the background check. I'm going to get licensed, and we're going to do this as a business. What? She said, yeah, we have to be at their office on Thursday night because they have these team meetings, and so we got to be there. And right away, I'm working for an insurance company, leaving that insurance company to come to another financial company didn't make a whole lot of sense, except for the ownership potential. Okay, I came to this company for two reasons. Number one, I was excited because I saw what the industry was doing firsthand. They sold me a product I didn't need. They sold me something that I could have been in a better vehicle with, but they chose not to. They didn't want to educate me on how money works. So I was kind of a little bit pissed off, number one, so it was a little bit of a vendetta. But number two, the potential for income. Shane, I've said this a couple times this past week with people that I've talked to, and I'm a bit of a sellout. And I think most people are. If you put a large check or a large opportunity in front of most people, they won't really question what it is as long as it's legal, right? If they can learn it, they'll probably do it to make the income. And so when I saw that the average broker first year made $150,000, which was double what I was doing, okay, let's go. What's the possibilities? He said, they're endless. Now, come on, man, there's got to be a possibility. There's got to be a catch. There's got to be a cap. What is it? He said, there is no cap. The top earner in the company is continuing to grow his income. And he's over $5 million a year. What? Everybody's growing their income. He said, those who work.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of companies that just kind of have levels and then you kind of cap out. So it sounds like what you're saying is there's no cap out. There is no cap.
And so I'm an entrepreneur with a company. I didn't have to create a company. There was a great system. I don't know if you know the guy Grant Cardone, but amazing motivational speaker. He said, listen, there's enough widgets and gadgets out there. Quit trying, or maybe this was Gary Vaynerchuk, sorry. He said, there's enough widgets and gadgets in the world. Quit wasting your time trying to invent one if there's a great system, get into it. And this was a proven system. It's been around for 43 years, had more six-figure earners than any other company in the U.S. You did not have to build a team to be financially independent. You didn't have to recruit a single person to make great income. But he said, if you build a team, you can go really far. Shane, I'm a people person. I love people. I love influencing. I love coaching. And so we dove in to build a team, and that's where the passion's been the last 3 years.
Wow. That's pretty cool, man. So you can do it by yourself or with a team.
Yeah.
And that's fun. A lot of people, heck, if you grew up playing sports, teams help you thrive. So
absolutely. And even growing up, I didn't really play a whole lot of team sports. Maybe when I was in Pee Wee, but you don't really gather the team around Pee Wee sports. You're just out there tripping over your shoelaces.
Yeah.
Or at least back in the 90s you were. These kids nowadays are some animals. But in high school, I was too small to play any sports. I got on the swim team. It's not much of a team. It's kind of an individual thing. You just get good at what you do and you beat everybody else in your lane. But I never really played a lot of team sports. It was always head to head. But when I was in my mid-20s, also, I got involved with a network marketing company, and I fell in love with the team aspect.
Yeah.
I fell in love with walking into an organization, everybody giving the high fives. And I compare that to like the high school pep rallies.
Yeah.
There were the people in the stands who were getting excited. And there were also the people in the stands who were like, oh my God, we got to do this again. And then there were the players down in the stadium, down on the floor, and they were jacked up. And so these pep rallies, you had, as an adult with this organization, you had pep rallies all the time. Once a month, you get to walk in. And yes, there were the fans that were, gosh, another one of these sayings. And then there were the fans who just ate it up, and they needed that to feel good on the inside. And then there were the players out in the middle. And it was all surrounded around the players. But the players, everybody on those teams were there to see those MVPs. And then I was like, I like to win, Shane. I love this culture. And when I saw that here, that was obviously a no-brainer because I like being around influential people. You and I have had this talk before about the five, the common denominator of your five closest friends. Well,
Yep.
if my friends were like these people that sat down, I probably wouldn't want to do much. But now I've surrounded myself with different friends in this organization or in other organizations. Now we can create another organization of just people who love to give the high fives. Hey, good job. You don't ever get the beat down of, oh man, you sucked today. Like, no man, you did great at this one thing. It's always uplifting. And so I love the pep rally aspect of building a team.
They build you up. They keep you growing together. I like that.
Yes.
So it sounds, you can obviously, anybody watching can see the passion you have about your company and about what you're doing. So where do you see yourself in 5 years with this company?
5 years with this company, Shane, we are projecting to have a developed team in all 50 states across the U.S. Now the company we can do stuff in Canada. I don't know anybody in Canada, but that'd be a great dream. As far as, and I'm only going to talk about business goals because my family is in a really good shape. We love each other. We're together as much as we can be. So the goals where the family's going to be, all of those things just kind of fall into place. But with the company, with the business, in my life 5 years from now, Shane, we want to be in all 50 states. And we want to travel when we want to be able to go and give the lectures and give the speeches and be influencers all over the country.
Well, I love that. So for people watching, and there's probably going to be someone from Canada watching, might want to reach out to you. How can your business, you already talked about how the business, if people were listening, they heard how it can help them. If you put just like a bullet point, maybe like the top 3 things this is going to help people with, how is this business, how could it help other people that are watching right now?
Yeah, Shay, you can't win a game you don't know the rules to. There's nothing out there that's broke down and uncoded, declassified for mainstream families. That is who we help. We help the mainstream families win a game that corporate America is putting them down in. So how can it help them? You get the rules. I will give you the rules to how to invest. I'll give you the rules how to spend your money. I'll give you the rules on how to build a plan, how to understand that. We will give the rules to finance so that we don't have to go into a bank and feel nervous when we're asking for a loan. We don't have to feel nervous about the credit card because we're not going to have them. Or maybe we can go in advance way past the Dave Ramsey baby steps and say, maybe credit cards aren't that bad if you know how to use them.
Yeah. Discipline is kind of, if you're a Ramsey person, the principle behind everything is discipline. So yeah. I love it. So you teach discipline. And so you said mainstream people. What would be another way to define mainstream that maybe people could resonate with?
Yeah, working class. Those who bust their butts, they get up. They're the ones that have built America. They're the ones that swing the hammers, dig the ditches. They make the service calls at midnight. The ones that handle our food. The ones that teach our children, the first responders. I'm not talking about the top elite. the ones that just throw money at everything and that's the fix. I'm talking about the people that have to grab a hammer to fix their problems. The ones that literally built this country, who work so hard to provide a decent living for their families, but at the end of the day, they get crapped on by the big institutions. Those are the people who we're reaching out to. Mainstream, blue collar, middle class families.
So what about the people that didn't go to college? Would someone that didn't go to college be able to take advantage of this too?
Thank God, no. Man, I went to college to take my aptitude test. They told me that I was at a 5th grade math level. I never enrolled into college. And here I am, I teach finances. Isn't that funny? But no college necessary to get into this industry. You just have to study and take a few state tests.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you coming on today, Brandon, and sharing what you've got going on. So what I want to know is, for anybody watching right now, how could they, if they want to take, at least have a conversation with you about what opportunities you have available, either just to help them get their finances in order or to learn how maybe they want to look into business opportunities.
Yeah.
How could they get in contact with you? What would be the best way for them to do that?
Right. Well, Shane, I do have my social media platforms. You can find me. I'm old, so you can find me on Facebook, Brandon Zabel. You can also find on Instagram, not on there very often, but the Zabel Zone, also on YouTube. But we do have scheduling links to go on and book an appointment with my wife and I. And we'll send you that link to attach somewhere in this video.
Okay. Yeah.
So people can have direct access to that. You can always find me on LinkedIn, Brandon Zabel. There's not a lot of change in anything. It's just Brandon Zabel. That's who I am. I represent you.
All right. Well, we're going to drop all this information that Brandon just mentioned in the comments below, so you can find it there and you can find ways to reach out to him. So guys, this is Brandon Zabel. His company's Primerica. He's awesome. If you want to help in any way or just to have a great conversation, give this guy a call. If you would like to be on MicroMessage and let other people know about your business or your service that you offer, go ahead right now and send me a message. Let's get the conversation started. I'm Shane Robb. Until next time.